Okay, I'm going to try to talk this out. This is a quick video regarding stocks. I think when I started, I had mentioned about penny stocks, mid cap stocks, large cap stocks. I'm going to just kind of give you the rundown. When I started, I'd say primarily like everybody starts when they get interested in trading. I started with, uh, YouTube videos. You know, I started with YouTube videos, and like most people, you start with YouTube videos. You start kind of going through videos and looking at people. They teach you little stuff here, little stuff there, just enough to get you in trouble. You probably haven't taken a trade by then, but you're not learning anything in any particular order. You don't understand most of what you're looking at. If you're really interested, then you actually go somewhere and you start looking at somebody to teach you how to trade stocks, and then you generally pay for a course. So that's generally how that started, and so there you go. Then I paid for a course, and then I believe I started with Warrior Trading. So I had mentioned about penny stocks and mid cap stocks, large cap stocks, and those are really determined by the float. And we had discussed that about the total number of shares available for trade, because float actually determines how fast that price action moves. I mean, and I'll try to make this simple because I don't have any examples to show you guys. I could probably, let me see. I don't have any examples to show you guys. See, because this is after hours. Okay, perfect example. I guess this is a perfect example. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see. AWX, perfect example. Now, I don't trade this stock. I used to trade this stock when I was trading what was called penny stocks. Now, you gotta understand something. I had mentioned that Ross trades penny stocks. This is Ross from Warrior Trading. Ross does have a limit, though. Ross doesn't trade anything, I believe, below like $1.50 or $2 or something. But you got stocks that go as low as, I think, a couple cents, and people trade those, and that's by the price, but then also the float. If you look at the float here, total number of shares available to trade, you look up here in the corner here, float size, and I actually put this on my TC2000 chart, so you can customize these to show anything you want. AWX has 877.6 thousand shares, okay, available to trade. Now, that's relatively small when you're talking about trading, okay? And there are stocks with floats that are way lower than that. Well, now think about this. As with anything, the fewer number of shares available in the market, the less people it takes to influence the direction of that stock. Okay, just think about that. The smaller the number of shares available, the less people it takes to influence that stock. Okay, like for instance, let's take this number here, and let's say we only had 1,000 shares. Let's say the float, as crazy as it sounds, let's say the float was 1,000 shares. Let's suppose we had 6 people in this stock, and they each bought 1,000 shares. Oh, wait a minute. I said 1,000 shares, right? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, let me start again. Okay, let's suppose we have 10,000. We have 10,000 shares. That's better. This is AWX. Let's suppose AWX only had a float of 10,000 shares. And we had 10 people in this stock. And 6 of them had 1,000 shares each that they were selling. You see where I'm going with this? Okay, now, stock only has 10,000 shares, and 6 people holding 1,000 shares each decide they want to sell. They can crash this stock. As you can see, look at this, boom, boom, boom. They can crash this stock. And this is what you find with stocks that are either have really low floats, or the kind of prices that you could turn around and buy 10,000 shares at once, 7,000 shares, 20,000 shares of a stock, because it's only 50 cents. So I can buy 20,000 shares. It doesn't That doesn't mean you're going to execute the trade any better. See, that's really the thing that new traders don't really understand, is that when they first start trading, they'll gravitate toward penny stocks. And why would they gravitate toward penny stocks? Because there's a belief, well, I can't lose a lot of money because the stock doesn't cost that much. It's only 50 cents. I can just dip my toe in the water. Problem with that is, who are these companies? And let's suppose that these, even if they're well-known companies like this AWX, these floats get smaller than 877,000. When the price action gets smaller than this, well, now think about that for a minute. I mean, not the price action, but the price per share gets smaller than this. So what will happen is, you take a stock that's $2 and something, $1.50, 75 cents. You got people in there trading these stocks, and here's the kicker about it. They're almost all new traders. Why did they take it? Well, I can't lose money, or I can't lose a lot of money because it's only so and so on, but he's in there with 20,000 shares. They don't know what they're doing. So let's suppose you even know the rules of trading. You know the rules, or rather, you know generally by what the moving averages are doing, or what the VWAP's doing, or what the last candlestick did. These indicators that a stock based on the volume or the momentum of how candlesticks are moving, that the price should do this or should do that. But it doesn't do that. Why? Because you have a lot of amateurs in there that don't know what they're doing. And, the stock's headed in one direction, let's say up, and they see one red candle and everybody panics and jumps out. Everybody panics, sells, and crashes the stock. And all of a sudden you're upside down with the bottom coming out of a stock thinking, what the heck just happened? Well, what just happened is you're in a low floater, which tends to move fast. They move fast because it doesn't take that many people to influence the stock. Think of it as a rowboat on the ocean. Okay, you can be in an ocean liner, or you can be in a dinghy. So you're out there in a little rowboat, and we got 25 people trying to cram their ass in this little tiny rowboat. Well, here's the problem. The boat can't, look, it doesn't take that many people. When you have a boat that small, it doesn't take that many people to sink it. You see what I mean? Now imagine having, I think our example was 10 people total in a trade and 6 people with 1,000 shares each. Let's take something like Facebook that had 2.1 billion shares available to trade. Do you really think what's going on with 6,000 shares is going to matter? That doesn't even, that's not even a sneeze. That's nothing compared to a stock like Facebook, which is why I trade larger stocks like this. They don't move the same that those low floaters move. And people who trade these stocks tend to be more seasoned traders that know what they're doing. Now, can you make money trading those lower float stocks, those lower price stocks? You absolutely can. People like Ross Cameron proves it every day. I think this guy I saw him one time do something like $56,000 in like 2 or 3 days. I mean, that's insane. I mean, that this guy's pulling down that kind of money, and it's real. There are people that, they'll try to say, other trading gurus that are, jealous of how I've always said, okay, everybody can't do what Ross Cameron does. I mean, if you take his program and you watch just his videos, and you watch his fingers on those keys and how fast his brain is able to think and how he's able to get in and out. People say, oh, well, he leads people into trades. He'll have a chat room full of people and he'll lead them into trades, and then he's already out, by the time they're getting in. So he's using their, no, he's not. Ross is going way too fast for a strategy like that to even work. This guy buys and sells stocks in a fraction of seconds at a speed that I can honestly tell you as a trader, I'll never achieve that. Okay, you lucky if I remember where I put my wallet last night. Okay, so I'll never achieve that, and that's perfectly fine. What did I tell you about trading? You're gonna find what works for you. As long as you can consistently pull out money, what do you care for? I'll never be a Ross, and I'll never trade those kind of stocks because that just doesn't work for me. So can you make a lot of money really fast? Yeah, you can. You can get to a stock like that, take 20,000 shares. The stock's moving on news because last night, I don't know, the CEO married the Queen of England, and all of a sudden the stock rocketed through the roof, and all of a sudden you're up $70,000. Yeah, you absolutely can. but you can also be down $70,000 in an instant because just like that, they're either low float, which means it's not that many shares, so it doesn't take that many people to influence it, or there's a bunch of amateurs in there that don't know what they're doing, and they end up crashing the stock. And if you're trading out of the country or you're trading on things like a short trader or something, I'm not saying that there was an issue one time with, and I'm not talking bad about any particular platform, but there was an issue with the stock AWX one time that, and let's go back to AWX. There was an issue with this stock that a certain exchange one time that a lot of people were holding this stock short. They were holding shares, a lot of shares of this particular stock short. Okay, they were holding it short, meaning they were holding a lot of shares, banking on the stock moving lower, and as it goes lower, they make money. Well, the exchange actually bought a lot of shares of this particular stock up. Talk about a conflict of interest. The very exchange bought those shares up, and I remember because I was trading with Aiden. Me and Aiden were actually trading that stock. We made money on that stock for about 3 or 4 days in a row. I mean, AWX was just ripping, and every morning me and Aiden got up, we would get back in AWX, and it was just ripping. And I mean, and we were like, what is going on with this stock? What is going on with this stock? And it's just ripping, ripping, ripping. Come to find out that what happened was the exchange itself had bought up a shit load of shares of this stock just to screw the people who were holding it short. And I remember one guy, you had these people all over Twitter. They were freaking out, the people who were in it short. There was one guy saying that he had got up and he took his kids to school that day. And he just dropped them off at school. And by the time he came home, he was down $16,000. Just like that. Because the stock had did nothing over the last couple of days and maybe moved down a little bit and he was up a little money. And if you're shorting a stock, that's how it goes. You're shorting a stock, so as it goes down, you make money because you're borrowing shares from the broker and you're going to buy them back at a lower price. And you buying them back actually gets you out of the trade. So you're looking to buy them back at a lower cost than what you borrowed them at. Okay, so make a long story short, the guy comes back and the stock had actually ripped up. Well, why did the stock rip up? Because the exchange had bought a whole lot of shares, which forced the price up. And this guy came back and he was down $16,000. So just imagine that. And I remember when me and Aiden were trading that stock, those candles were ripping and we're like, what is going on with this stock? I mean, there had to be candles on that screen 12 inches long, 8 inches long, 7 inches long. We're like, what is going on? I mean, one just candle, just straight up. We're like, what is going on with this stock? But, come to turn around, comes out a couple days later that you find out that particular exchange that those people were trading through actually went behind their back and bought up shares of that stock just to screw. Because now what happens? Not only are they making money from the price that they bought it at, or rather, what happens is all those traders that were holding it short, they're out of all that money. So it worked out for the exchange. So just keep that in mind. That's why I don't trade stocks like that, and that's why I don't trade stocks like that. I don't like the way they move. I don't like the fact that they're filled with a lot of amateur traders that don't know what they're doing. And those stocks move really, really, really freaking fast. So, like I said, if you're just learning to trade, it's like, you just got your driver's license yesterday and all of a sudden you're going to Indianapolis 500. I mean, really? You should be taking practice runs for your grandmother to the store to pick up, denture cream or something, not jumping in the Indianapolis 500. You just got your license. So as an experienced trader, if you decide as you start trying different stocks and you find certain stocks that you like to trade and blah, 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 and as you start gravitating towards stocks like that, if you want to trade those stocks, that's perfectly fine, but know what you're doing. Most new traders think because it costs less, it won't cost me as much and I can just jump right in. And, I can get in here. It's only, and you end up getting hammered and you end up losing way more money than you would have lost had you taken something like a Facebook. People look at that, what is Facebook now? Let's see, NVIDIA. Okay, perfect example now. NVIDIA, I don't even know what chart I'm looking at. I think I'm looking at, let me pull this down. Okay, let's say NVIDIA, for instance. NVIDIA, I think it's somewhere now around, what is that, $178 a share. Now you got people, oh, $178 a share. I don't want to take anything that big, you know, or something like Amazon. I think that might be, I don't know, a couple $1,000s a share or 1,600 or something. I haven't checked Amazon's price in a while, so don't worry about that. Matter of fact, let's just take a look because I'm going to wrap this video up real quick. Oh, sorry, Amazon. Okay, here we go. What's Amazon at now? There you go. $1,716. Okay, just imagine that for a minute. Okay, so you got people that's like, oh, you know, I can't afford that. Well, you're right. You probably can't afford Amazon, you know, because it's $1,700 a share, and it's according to how big your account is, you know. But something like Facebook or an NVIDIA or even a Twitter. Twitter's not really that expensive. Twitter's, let's see, TWTR. Perfect example. And I trade Twitter on a regular basis. Twitter's only $40 a share. $40 a share. And you're thinking, well, why should I take this for $40 a share when I can take 20,000 of these for 50 cents? It's like, come on, man. You know, you're in there with a bunch of people thinking that, and none of you know what you're doing. And then these idiots are going to get you screwed out of your money because things that I know would take place on a stock like Twitter, because I have mutual funds in here trading things like Twitter. And I know, the indicators that I've gotten should go a particular way with this stock, and this trade should follow through. I'm in here with a bunch of rookies that as soon as they see one red candle, they jump out, one green candle, everybody jumps in, so forth and so on, blah, 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 this or that happened. And I mean, just insane stuff that you're just like, what is going on with this stock? You can never really get a read on which direction the stock is moving in, and all of a sudden you're screwed out of your money. So keep that in mind, which is why we're going to be trading. I pretty much stick with tech stocks. I stick with tech stocks. Pretty much, if it's not part of the S&P 500, I generally don't trade it. I'm going to tell you about that. We're going to look at S&P 500. We're going to look at that. I'm going to show you how I use it as sort of an early warning system of the general feel of the market to trade tech stocks. And that's generally what I do. I trade tech stocks. I stick with things like Twitter, Facebook. I don't trade Amazon. Twitter, Facebook, Roku, NVIDIA, MU, Micron. Okay. Those are pretty much my stocks. And you're going to find as a trader that you're going to put together a basket. You're going to, as you're going along, you're going to put together a basket of stocks. And it may be 5 or 6 stocks. And that's your basket. There are people that have larger baskets than that. I mean, there are people that might have 20 in a basket, but those are people that generally run like a chat room or something, you know, so they're always trying to find a particular trade. I'm gonna tell you something. Like I said, I'm lucky if I can remember where my wallet's at. Okay. At any given time or where I took my socks off. Look, I got like 5 stocks. I get up, I got like 5 stocks. If I can't catch a trade between them 5 stocks, what's the point? Generally, there's something going on that I can catch a trade between those 5 or 6 stocks for the day. And that's it. That's it. So, you're going to put together your thing. You're going to be like, oh, this is my thing. These are my basket. In certain stocks, as Pat Mitchell told me one time from Trick Trades, I used to try to trade, I think it was Apple. Okay. And I look, I can't trade Apple. I literally can't. Every time I trade, I think in the amount of times I've traded Apple, I've probably made money on it twice, maybe 3 times. Out of I don't even know, 50 to 100 times trading Apple. I've probably made money on it 2 or 3 times. I can't trade Apple. I literally cannot get a read on Apple. Apple always screws me. Always screws me. Always screws me. You'll find stocks that every trader has this. Every trader has a stock that they just stay away from like the plague. Like every time that stock screws me over, and you'll just stay out of it. You'll be like, oh, that's not my stock. I can't trade that. Apple doesn't fit my personality. You'll find stocks that just fit your personality. There are just certain stocks that just fit your personality. You're just like, man, I love this stock. Me and this stock always get along. NVIDIA, I'm really good with. Roku, I'm really good with. MU, I can make money on sometimes. MU tends to screw me. Twitter, I know I have to give a 7 to 10 cent range over where I plan to get out because Twitter will fake me out. Twitter's a great runner, but Twitter will fake me out numerous times. Twitter's like some kind of flaky girlfriend that you can't really sort of depend on. You ask her to do this and that. Maybe she'll remember to stop by the cleaners and pick up your shirts, before that job interview because she's kind of flaky, she's great when she's great, but when she's not, you know, and there you go. It's like that. So you just find stocks that'll fit your personality. They'll just come. So that's it. We're coming up on 20 minutes. Take care, guys. I don't even know what I'm going to title this yet, but see you in the next one. Bye-bye.